Okay, so I'm going to take you on a little tutorial on how to set up payment types within the software. So we're going to go down into configuration, and then we're going to go into the payment types area. This is an area where Internetnextstep will do a lot of the setup for you, but there is some control over a number of things that are pretty interesting for you back here. So the first thing to notice is that every payment type we have, you can have the ability to set that payment type to work for outgoing payments, meaning paying commissions to the members, incoming payments, of course, meaning receiving money from the members. Then within that, you can subdivide it down to many, many areas. So you can say, I'm going to use it for incoming only for auto ship, not for orders, or for auto ship, orders, sign up. Then we can go even further to say, well, we're going to use it for orders, but only admin orders. So for example, you may want to enable a type like money order or bank draft down here. And you might not want members to be able to use that because that's not a real-time payment type. So it would only be something you'd make admin able to do. So if you turn that on as admin only, you could have this money order bank draft as a way to put orders in that maybe haven't been paid, maybe they're gifted, maybe you're trusting the person to send you the money later, but you could put those orders in through this payment type and then deal with the actual receiving of the money later. So you could have admin in, admin out, member out, customer in, customer out. So there's some very, very granular control of which payment types you show and where. You also have the ability to hook up what we call an unpaid nag screen. So on any non-real-time payment types, you actually have the ability to set up the system so that if the person hasn't yet paid, you can let them into their members lounge for a finite number of times. So you could say they can log in 10 times. Each time they log in, it's going to say you still haven't paid. You got 9 more times to pay before you're going to be locked out of your members lounge. So a pretty handy feature if you're stuck in a maybe a gifting program situation or something where you're not getting a real-time Visa or MasterCard payment type. Data required and date required and editable are all things that Internetnextstep will help you with setting up should you require them. They basically just mean that you're actually going to collect some data from the people in the case of ACH, so then you would need data required. Date required is only necessary for some very specific gateways. Editable, again, if editable is necessary, Internetnextstep will advise you and help you set up. So now let's get in and take a look at one of these. For example, let's just start by going in and taking a look at credit card real quick. So when you go in here, now you're going to see yet even more control. So when you're within the credit card area, you'll see that any currencies that you've had enabled, you can now turn around and say, hey, I want to use credit card only for US dollar orders. You could set up multiple credit card gateways and have one used for US dollars, one used for Taiwan dollars, one used for Australian dollars. If your credit card gateway is able to do refunds, you would populate the refund column with a yes. Not all credit card companies and gateways give you the ability for real-time refunds. There's a lot of rules associated with them that you have to be clear to specify out to Internetnextstep so we can program your gateway appropriately. Some gateways allow you to put an order through and refund it 5 minutes later. Other gateways actually have a 24 hold before it can be refunded. So for the first 24 hours, you wouldn't refund it. You'd actually just void the transaction. So Internetnextstep does need your API manual if it's not a gateway we've already done to make sure that it's set up appropriately. Then within credit card, you can turn around and say which credit cards do you want to take or does your gateway support. A lot of times Amex is very expensive, so a lot of people don't enable Amex. Basically, any of these that you check will now show up at the payment types area as in the drop-down of the kind of credit cards you need. Payment charge type, there's various things Internetnextstep can set up based upon the credit card or money order or different payment charge types. So again, most of this area you want to use with Internetnextstep's help, but we wanted to explain in general what some of these things are. Here's the same boxes that you saw the checks for outside here, and this is where you control them. So whether you're using this payment type, so credit card you'd never use for outgoing payment because you can't really pay people by credit card. So it's used, in this case, credit card set up for incoming payments, for auto ship orders sign up, for admin coming in, of course not admin going out, members coming in, customers coming in, and we've attached an unpaid nag screen to the credit cards. So this would just mean that if the guy was unfinancial, the system would keep saying, hey, fix up your credit card or we're going to lock you out of your members lounge. From here, you can go one level deeper into the service fee detail area. This now allows you per currency to set fees for incoming or outgoing. So in the case of a credit card in North America, you're not allowed to attach a fee. In the case of credit card in Australia, you are. So you could enable a credit card payment type for Australia only, and then you could turn around and say, Mr. Member, if you're going to use a credit card, we're going to charge you a 2% fee for doing so. And the system would now charge a 2% fee only where it's legal in Australia, and you'd set up an alternate gateway with Internet Next Step's help to use a non-service fee for other credit card gateways. Now, you also could use the same credit card gateway if it's a multiple currency capable credit card gateway, and you could put that service fee only for Australian dollars, and then for US dollars you don't have a service fee. So there's so much configuration and capability here, but again, most of it you're going to need a little bit of interaction with Internet Next Step to help you set it up right based upon your gateways and your requirements. So the hooks are there, we just need to help you connect them up. That being said, let's just go and do something that you could do yourself. Let's say you wanted to take wire transfer payments. Okay, now wire transfers are a non-real-time payment type. So I've come to the members sign up payment page to show you that right now there is no way to pay by wire transfer. So now we're going to go and enable through admin payment types the wire transfer payment type. So we pop open the edit screen here, bring it into your view, and we're going to set up wire transfers for US dollars only. Now, when you set up wire transfers, of course, your member needs to know where to send the money to. So in this area here, you would put the payment details. So you'd put in your account numbers and all the stuff that they need as the coordinates to wire transfer you money. It would be a standard payment type. Your service fee, if you wanted to put one on it, you'd go into here. Normally, you're going to get charged for receiving a wire transfer, so you may decide that you want to charge people the $15 that you're charged for an international wire transfer. So we'd set that to 15, and the system will now automatically, for a US dollar transaction paid by a wire transfer, add a $15 fee. Now we're only going to use this as an incoming payment type, and in this case, I'm only going to set it up for sign up and members sign up. Now it is going to be editable, and there is data required, and I'm going to hit submit. Now if I've done this right, when I go back to the members sign up page and hit refresh, we should now see the wire transfer payment type appearing. And there it is. And you can also see that it's nicely given us up the details as well as told you the service. So that's a little bit about how you would go to set up wire transfers. The rest of the system basically works the same, but keep in mind, just because it's on the list doesn't mean you can just connect to it and use it. Most payment types need a little bit of tweaking, a little bit of integration, or they could be old and outdated, so we could need to do a little bit of revamping of the code. A lot of these third-party guys grow up pretty fast, and from month to month they have different integrations and more capabilities, and of course there's a lot on these lists that have just disappeared. Let's say that you found a payment type out there, a brand new guy, and you wanted to give him a chance, and it was, the best payment type in the world.com. Well, you could come in here and you could actually set up the best payment type in the world as a manual payment type. You could say I want to use it for incoming, I want to use it for sign up, admin, member, and customer. I would put data required, I would make it editable, and an unpaid nag screen, because this will be a non-real type payment type. And by simply adding this payment type, you've now created essentially a bucket to collect money into. You could also give it some notes to tell people exactly how they need to send stuff to you or what they need to do to get the money to you. So by having this bucket, it would just be a place that people could say, yes, I'm sending to you by this payment type. So when you go look at all your unpaid orders, all the people who paid by this payment type will be segregated into one place. And until you mark them paid by hand manually, in other words, this is the non-integrated, cheap and nasty, let me see if I want to use these guys before I spend money on customizing the system to accept an obscure gateway. And if you love it and it works and you're happy, you can then get their integration manual over to Internet Next Step. We'd be happy to give you a quote. So in general, this is what the whole payment type area is about. Like I said before, you'll often need a little bit of Internet Next Step's help for doing this. So give us a call if you're stuck. If you're not doing something real simple or you really don't understand it, get on with support. We're happy to walk you through it.